Here today to talk about helping people stay in their homes during this pandemic. We all know that evictions have been a problem in Virginia even before the pandemic hit back in March. In fact, eviction rates right here in Richmond were among the highest in the country. So earlier this year, we proposed $1.5 million a year to hire additional legal aid attorneys even before COVID-19. The urgency has grown since the pandemic began. Since then, more than a million people, Virginians, have filed for unemployment benefits because they've lost jobs or wages during this crisis. And 10,000 eviction cases were docketed in Virginia courts from mid-July through August. 10,000 eviction notices. Those are people that are at risk of losing their homes. The Virginia Poverty Law Center estimates some 230,000 eviction cases could be filed through the end of this year. So Virginia is taking action. First of all, I want to thank the Supreme Court of Virginia for suspending non-emergency proceedings earlier this year, like evictions. They put in place a moratorium as we work to finalize the rent and mortgage relief program funded with CARES Act dollars. We have dedicated $50 million to help. If you're having trouble paying your rent or mortgage because of COVID-19, Virginia may be able to help. In fact, the program has served more than 3,100 households in Virginia in the first 6 weeks. This makes a real difference for families. We know that more than 60% of these households have children. We also know that the pandemic is having a disproportionate impact on people of color, and we have focused our outreach to those communities, with more than 40% of those served in August identifying as Black or African American. Obviously, there is no good time for a family to lose their home, but a pandemic is the worst time. We want to help make sure people have safe, secure housing that they can stay in while that we all get through this very difficult time. Here's another thing that we know. Legal aid makes a real difference if you're facing eviction. In fact, when legal aid attorneys represent people in eviction proceedings, 72% have successful outcomes. It's less than half that when people don't have representation. So hiring more attorneys means legal aid can help more people who otherwise would be facing homelessness. So today we're announcing $4 million in new funding to help the Legal Services Corporation hire 20 new legal aid attorneys for each of the next 2 years. We're really excited about where this money is coming from. Half of it is coming from the generosity of an outstanding corporate citizen, IKEA. Now, you all know IKEA. My children know IKEA. And I know that many of you have their furniture in your homes. They have great stores in Prince William and also in Norfolk, and they employ about 550 people in Virginia. So here's the backstory. IKEA closed their stores earlier this year to protect the safety of their customers and employees. Their employees then received unemployment benefits. Now, IKEA is choosing to pay it forward by providing a donation equal to the amount their employees received in unemployment benefits. That alone is tremendously generous. But then they said, where is the greatest need? And it took about 6 seconds to say housing security, helping people stay in their homes. So we asked that IKEA direct the $2 million donation to support eviction relief, and they said, okay. And for that, we say thank you. For that, we also said that as a Commonwealth, we will match your $2 million. So the other half of this investment is coming from our Commonwealth. We will match it with $2 million from the COVID relief fund we set up earlier this year. You'll recall that this comes from a tax on games of skills machines, often called gray machines. Together, this $4 million will enable legal aid to hire 20 eviction attorneys for the next 2 years as part of Virginia's work to help people during the pandemic. I'm proud that we have been able to work with IKEA and the Legal Services Corporation to do something that will truly benefit Virginia families. I want to thank IKEA for making this possible. They're not here today because they're doing the right thing. Their corporate policy restricts travel right now, but I know their team is watching on Facebook, so welcome and thank you very much. So to U.S. President Javier Quinones and everyone at IKEA, again, thank you. I also want to thank Legal Aid and the Department of Housing and Community Development. And again, I thank members of the General Assembly who have worked with us to find all kinds of ways to help people during these very difficult times. We all want to make the pandemic easier on Virginians, and we'll keep working together to do so. So you're going to hear from a couple folks. First of all, we're going to hear from our Chairman of Appropriations, Luke Torrey, and then our President Pro Temp, Senator Louise Lucas, and then our Director of Legal Aid, Mark Braley. So in that order, I welcome you to the podium. Thank you all, and please welcome Chairman Luke Torrey.